So, I am convinced that we live in a sports mainstream media world of outstatement, which is to get the most clout, to get the most people sitting down, watching, consuming your content, whether it is video, whether it is articles, whether it is whatever it is, that you don't actually need to come out with things that you think, you just need to come out with things that are either so ridiculous or outlandish that more people jump on the train, even if they or you don't believe in what you want to say. And I have to believe that's the case with David King's All-Australian team. So looking at this morning, I realised that I needed to do it and do it correctly. So this is a much better and more logical 2022 All-Australian team prediction. Let's do it. So before we get started, there's only 4 days until round 1, and I've still got about 25 subscribers to get to my 500 mark, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That would mean so much. If we can get to that 500, that would really mean a lot, but however close we get there, all the love and all the support does mean a hell of a lot. 2022 is going to be a massive year for the channel, and I cannot wait to get stuck into the real stuff, but until then, let's get into the 22 men that are going to be getting their blazers at the end of the year for the All-Australian. Let's start, as you should always, with the full back line. We've got two best and fairest winners from the last 2 years, and a Lion back in his natural habitat.
Goes to short, he loads up from 50, that's on target, they just keep coming and coming.
Often the kick-in man for Brisbane, it's to the one-on-one, Andrews with a shot.
Getting forward, Stewart getting forward, and banging it home.
So Jaden Short without Bashahuli is just going to explode this year. How you can have a side without Tom Stewart in it before you start a season just seems shambolic to me, and that full back spot is going to be open up to a lot of players. I'm going to back in a man that's done it before. I think Harris goes to another level this year. I don't think his last year was great, but his last year was good. It's not like he fell off the face of the planet. So I think if he just adds that 5%, 10% extra, which he is more than capable of doing, good luck taking the fullback spot off him. So that's my fullback line. Let's get to the half-back line. I'm wearing my Hawthorn hat a little bit here. Don't come at me. A second Lion joins the fray, and an underrated Blue gets the centre half-back role.
Makes a tackle, flicks it to Sicily. Can he kick another one? Yes, he can.
His intent to get it there fast. Well done by Wiedering. Terrific work.
Gently caressed it right through the middle, Daniel Rich.
Genuinely believe the half-back spots are going to be pretty well fought for this year, but I'm backing in Sis, who's had 18 months out of the game, and if you're thinking that's a hell of a long time, he was ready to go for the last month of 2021, but why the Hawks would have risked him wouldn't have made any sense, so they didn't. He's primed, proper, ready to go. And given the fact that I'm not as bullish on my Hawks as a lot of other Hawks fans are, I think the ball's going to be down there a bit. And he's such a beautiful user of the footy. He's got such clean hands. He is going to be really, really noticeable to the eye, and I think that's going to be rewarded. Daniel Rich is the best field kick in the game. Come at me. Good luck to you. He's the best field kick in the game, and get him within 60 of goal. It's going straight over the goal umpire's hat. And for all those that are going to comment, Jacob Wiedering's not underrated, I'm not saying it's by the fans, but it's taken the media way too long to recognise just how good his bodywork is in the contest. I know he started his career as like a weird pseudo-forward, and took a long time for him to find his feet, but I'm not just talking last year, I'm talking the last 4 years. His body positioning and the way that he's grown into a centre-half back has been extraordinary, and I reckon he gets back there. Let's get to the centre line. Now, they don't put actual wingmen on the wings, which sucks, and hopefully Kane Corns as a selector is going to change that narrative a bit, but I got to believe it when I see it. I'm going to trust the history. They put Sam Walsh on a wing last year, so I'm going to put another two-way midfielder on that wing. On the other wing, I've got a man who can play inside and outside, and he's such a beautiful kick of the footy. They'll probably stick him out there on the wing if he makes it, and in the centre is my pick for the Brownlow medal.
Gives it off to Tuke Miller, looks around the corner, does the 360, pulls the trigger. That's what the Saints fans wanted. His first of the year. From the corner. Oh, Kelly!
There are some players, when guys come back, that you think might take a step back. I think Tuke having Matt Rowell back isn't really going to affect his game at all, given the fact that not only is he such a weapon with the footy, he is such a weapon without the footy. The amount of times, especially go watch the Richmond highlights, Gold Coast Richmond that is, of course, the way he was backing back into defensive 50 and then exploding with or without the ball, that man's endurance is absolutely insane. And I don't see this new Gold Coast midfield almost taking anything away from him. I think he's going to get better. So he's going on a wing for mine. He should be in the midfield, but again, that's my gripe with the All-Australian selectors. Josh Kelly on the other wing, I spoke about him in my crystal ball video. I have no science to back up that he is going to have an extraordinary year. He is my hunch player, so take it as it comes, I guess. But given the fact that his outside ball is so great and he can actually go forward and kick goals now, because for some boneheaded reason, Leon Cameron thought a half-forward flank would be a good place for him. So considering Taranto, Canelio aren't going to play full mid roles, especially with Toby Green out, Josh Kelly's the main man, and I don't think Jacob Hopper is All-Australian worthy yet. I think he might get there. Josh Kelly can definitely get there, and I'm backing that he does. And what more can I say about Jack Steele that I haven't already said on the channel? The man's a gorgeous human being, finds the footy, tackles, kicks snags. He's a lock until he gets injured, in my opinion, but that is my centre line. Let's move to the half-forward line, shall we? Again, half-forward flankers don't get put in these spots. These are midfielders that can kick goals. So that's what I've done for my two flanks, and my centre half-forward is a man that figured it out last year, and I think the reigning Premier are going to be really grateful for it.
Woods, Lambert, Martin in an impossible position. Oh, no, it's not.
Directly in front. No problems.
Look out, Bontempelli. Oh, this is...
So I think the Bont is an All-Australian lock, again, until he gets injured in seasons. He's one of those guys that is just going to get a blazer for being as good as he is, and I actually don't have a problem with that. The Bont's a superstar. What can you say? It's as simple as that. I think Dusty, he doesn't necessarily need to be at his 2017 best, but if Richmond are going to be as good as I think they are this year, he needs to be All-Australian calibre. So given the fact that all pre-season I've talked about, I think Richmond are contenders, I have to put Dusty in the team. You got to have that integrity there. You got to keep your dignity there. And I think that happens. Ben Brown didn't have a great season last year, but he figured it out late last year, another pre-season into him. And given the fact that his midfield aren't exactly elite kicks, it's the best midfield group in the competition, and that midfield group won them the grand final in that third quarter. I understand that. But Petrarca and Oliver last year both ranked in the top 12 for clangers. So, kick it in the air, let Ben jump at it. Not a lot of defenders are going to stop him. A bit like Aaron Norton, except his midfield are better kicks, but didn't really matter in the last day in September. So Ben Brown, Dustin Martin, Marcus Bontempelli, that is a fantastic half-forward line. Let's get to the full forward line. I've gone a third tall. Shoot me, but considering how good this guy is on the lead, it's silly not to put him in there, in my opinion. Again, this is probably one that you're going to comment on going, really, Daz? Really? I'm backing him in. I am backing him in. The full forward is the man that I think is going to win the Coleman, and the best small forward in the competition who's going to play 22 games. Here's the full forward line.
Inside out. He turns most inside out. Charlie Cameron, something out of nothing. What about that?
The back. Can he get onto the ball? No, just boots it for his life. For his life, Tommy Hawkins. And he's kicked the goal of his life.
To Rio, and Jack has 10. The perfect afternoon.
So Charlie Cameron, pretty self-explanatory. He's Brisbane's best forward. He's their most important forward, and I've talked about how I think he's the most important player on their list, and I truly do believe that. Tom Hawkins, I don't really understand why we can predict now Jeremy Cameron is going to be the best version of himself. 3 hamstring injuries last year. Tomahawk's more durable. Tomahawk is a better mark, and Tomahawk's going to be able to kick goals by grabbing him out of the ruck as well. So whilst I think Jeremy Cameron is going to kick maybe a bag of 6 or 7 more than Tomahawk will, for 2 or 3 goals a game, which is what you're going to need, you know, your 60, your 65, maybe even a 70 to win the Coleman this year, I'm backing Tomahawk to do that before Jeremy Cameron, and of course before everyone else. And Jack Riewoldt, I know he's going to be the one that everyone goes, come on, Daz, really? I've seen enough this preseason. He looks lean. Not that he ever didn't look lean, but he looks in ripping nick for a bloke over the age of 30. He's a beautiful kicker goal, and he has consistently burned everyone on the lead in the preseason games, which of course you need to react to, not overreact to. I'm backing him in. Tom Papley's injured, and there's not really a lot other small forwards that are really jumping off the page going, that spot is mine, until someone takes it off me. So Jack is my pick there. All right, let's get to the ruck line. A former All-Australian, a former Brownlow medalist, and a man who could win a Brownlow medal in the next couple of years.
It's Grundy! Handball to Oliver, streaming through. Bang! Bang, bang, bang! Straight away for Fremantle. Now, Lachie Neale turns, shoots, and scores the first.
If you've watched any of my Supercoach content, I've preached that Grundy's going to be the R1 at the end of the year, so why wouldn't he be the All-Australian ruckman? It just makes sense that way. Lachie Neale, again, Supercoach circles being talked about a lot. Non-Supercoach circles, not really, and I don't really understand why. He's not going to play majority forward. Can we stop this? Sure, he might line up on a wing. He did it for like 6% in his Brownlow year as well, so it's not, you know, foreign territory for him. And Clayton Oliver was $41 in the Brownlow last year. I got on, should have bloody cashed out, but that's not the point. I think Clayton Oliver's closer to a Brownlow than Petrarca is. Petrarca's going to need to do what Dusty did in 2017, that explosive type player. Whereas Clary gets the footy so much, his foot skills have really improved, and he's kicking snags, of course. So I don't think he really needs to bring a lot to win a Brownlow. Those two might take votes off each other, who knows? But of the two of them, I'm going to back in Clary. So that is my ruck line. So let's get to the bench. I've got a man who has an All-Australian spot waiting for him, a fresh face to the All-Australian team, the Premiership captain, and a power player set to explode.
McRae runs to 50, short chip to Norton.
Confidence, handball inside to Gawn, 55 metres, takes out the driver.
Darcy gets the tap. Brayshaw again.
Out the back, got rid of Atkins, out of the air. Oh, Butters loves it.
So let's start with the two that are pretty safe picks. Jackson McRae finds the footy at will, and the fact that he can get 35 and kick the footy as well as he does makes him, I think, one of the more underrated players in the competition. I love Macca so much. Max Gawn, I'm going the two rucks here. Shoot me if you want, it doesn't bother me. But I think those two are going to be far and away the two best ruckmen in the competition. I worry about Nick Nat's output to that midfield group that's so depleted. Sean Darcy's had a fantastic year last year, but, you know, let's see it again before we make these preseason predictions, I think. And then, of course, Zach Butters. I love the man. He is my favourite non-Hawk player in the competition. But not only that, that midfield time, that forward time, he's going to be one of those guys that probably either takes a second forward pocket spot, which I think is where Kingy had him. I don't think he's going to beat out, you know, the Bont, Dusty, or Christian Petrarca, who I've left out of this side. I don't think he's going to beat out any of those. So I think it's a forward pocket where he doesn't really deserve a forward pocket, or it's a bench spot. So I've chucked him on the bench. And Andy Brayshaw is going to be that new midfielder in the team. It's his midfield now. Fife there is only going to help him not get tagged as much, not get that much opposition focus. And he's been tagged and beat it before. The Richmond game last year, he was simply extraordinary. And I'm backing him in. This kid can win a Brownlow one day, I think. But let's settle for an All-Australian this year. So that is the team on your screen there. What do you think, guys? Comment below. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, tomorrow, the 13th of March, I am live streaming my Supercoach draft, the Daz Talks Footy Supercoach draft, so get involved. If you're already in the league and you can't make it tomorrow, please drop out. That is the code there, so keep trying it. If someone does drop out, and you can jump in as well if you can make it, or if not, the 10 will stay as they are. I'm going to be having Smithy on with me. Can't wait for your company there. Thank you so much for watching the video. Comment below. Let me know who you think I was a bit harsh on, or who you think I've put in my team that doesn't deserve to be there. All that stuff and more. Can't wait to reply to you guys. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Can't wait for round one. Goodbye.